Thursday lunchtime. It's myself and Simon. Alongside us is our boxing chum, Adam Catterall, who joins us live on the show. Adam, many people getting in touch. This seems to have annoyed quite a number of people in the fight game, Adam. Keen to get your take on it. Francis Ngannou, of course, who narrowly lost to Fury on points after knocking him down recently. The same Francis Ngannou has been ranked number 10 heavyweight by the WBC after his fight against Tyson Fury. I'll select one message. Ngannou, number 10, according to the WBC. Utter outrage, nonsense. What are they doing? What's your take on it, Adam?
Money, baby. This is how the game works.
Yeah, right.
Like you say, one professional fight, one loss, albeit against the best heavyweight on the planet. We all saw the fight. He pushed him incredibly close on that night. But the facts are that he walked away with a loss on his record. And now all of a sudden he's ranked with the WBC. Let's be straight. This is why this has happened. Boxing does consistently shoot itself in the foot, but it is a business and it is driven itself purely by money. By ranking Francis Ngannou, you then allow for the WBC champion to choose a voluntary. Now, we all know that this afternoon we're going to get the Undisputed Heavyweight Championship of the World announced. Fury Usyk, we're all delighted about that. There's going to be a rematch in that fight. We've already been told that there's going to be a two-way rematch. Now, we've already been speaking a little earlier on about the IBF stripping their belt and Hrgovic and maybe Joshua or Wilding fighting for that. I would bet my bottom dollar that at the end of Fury Usyk, once that is all complete, the person that comes out and is holding the WBC championship, that person, the next fight after that doubleheader will 100% be Francis Ngannou.
Wow.
Because it just makes a ton of cash.
Right. I mean, it legitimizes Francis Ngannou as a boxer, doesn't it? Ranking him at 10.
Yeah, but it pretty much emphasises everything that's wrong with boxing at this moment in time, and specifically the WBC. Mm-hmm. It's wrong. It's not there on merit. Of course, it's a business, but the business should be rewarding the best by being the best. The only thing that will derail that is surely Ngannou has to have a fight in between now and then, and it'll be interesting to see if he does. And if he does fight against a legitimate heavyweight that's actually focused on the fight, I would expect him to get knocked out, or certainly beaten in a far more compelling way than Tyson Fury did it, and if in fact Tyson Fury did actually do it.
Right. Adam, I want to throw this at you. We were intending doing it maybe in the final part, but I'm going to start it now. It's being reported that Chris Eubank Jr. and Conor Benn is now, quotes, falling apart. This long-awaited fight that we were going to see, that we've all been hearing about of late. Eubank Jr., Benn falling apart, claims there's a dispute over money on Benn's side. Are you hearing something similar?
Yeah, I've seen the report of it. I've seen the different dates that it was all touted for, originally December 23rd, and it got pushed back into the start of 2024. The only reason why this fight should be falling apart is because we've got a license issue, haven't we? We haven't been through a particular process in order to clear a name fully, in order to then reapply and get ourselves licensed by the British Boxing Board of Control. I don't know the ins and outs of the terms and conditions about money or anything like that, so it's wrong of me to speculate as to whether somebody's upset about a pay. What I do know is that one of those fighters isn't licensed at this moment by the British Boxing Board of Control, so I have no idea why we're even talking about a fight going ahead at this stage until that situation is rectified.
You agree with Adam on many things, and that's another thing you agree with him on.
I think it's difficult not to. I think actually Frank Warren's done Eddie Hearn a favour, because Eddie Hearn's the one's making all the noise about this fight happening in December, and he's now got out from underneath because he's got other fish to fry, with AJ fighting on December the 23rd. Of course, and you've also got the other side of the argument, which is if Conor Benn continues to stay in bad standing, with the British Boxing Board of Control, there's also jeopardy in it for Chris Eubank Jr. He's a British Boxing Board of Control licence holder. If he fights a fighter that's standing in bad standing with the British Boxing Board of Control, he can have his licence in jeopardy. So, look, it's the eternal triangle, or the eternal conversation. Everybody that talks about Conor Benn and suggests that this isn't right is a hater, and they're doing Conor Benn down. And anyone that talks about it, that suggests that he should be allowed to fight, is a supporter. The real fact of the matter is Conor Benn failed 2 drugs tests. He got out from underneath of a suspension put on him by UKAD by having a jurisdiction argument. I do wish the British Boxing Board of Control and the Appeal Board and the independent drug assessment agency arbitration would get on with determining whether the British Boxing Board of Control are going to be able to deal with this issue, or UK are going to be able to deal with this issue. And when that's done, then Conor Benn can move on with his career, legitimately move on with his career. Until then, but it doesn't matter, because WBC will just shove him back in the rankings at number 5, right, Adam?
Yep, they've already done that this week,
I know
mate, as you're pointing out. So,
yeah.
Listen, boxing just makes it up as it's going along.
Adam, finally from you, how remarkable was the story of Tom Aspinall this week in UFC?
I was in the fortunate position to be at Madison Square Garden last weekend when Tom did beat Sergey Pavlovich and announce himself as one of the premier forces in the UFC. I mean, what a fantastic achievement. We've only had 2 previous champions. We've obviously got one at the moment with Leon Edwards, who's the welterweight champion. Michael Bisping was the inaugural one, but now to have the guy in the heavyweight division to be holding UFC gold is pretty damn remarkable, given the fact that 15 months ago, the lad bust his knee. He needed some serious surgery, ACLs, MCLs, you name it. He needed the whole lot doing. And since he's been out, he's only been in the octagon for the best part of 2 minutes when he took care of Marcin Tybura earlier on this year. He got this call up on 2 weeks' notice. He pulled his back in his first sparring session, so therefore he didn't spar at all. He's got off the couch. He's rocked up, taken on the most dangerous guy in the division and stopped him in 69 seconds. It was truly one of the best performances of the year, and I'm glad that it's happened to him because he's a lovely fella, and hopefully it shines a massive light on British MMA because it's flying at the moment.
Brilliant. He's a popular lad, Adam. Just before we brought Aspinall's name up, there's Chris Johnson, one of many. Jim Simon, the only guy you want to be talking about this lunchtime is Tom Aspinall. Give him a huge shout out because what he achieved was quite sensational. I mean, it's true. It was the way you've outlined it there, Adam. The very fact that he took the fight with just 17 days notice after this injury. I mean, it is remarkable. What's next for him?
Well, ideally, the glory fight with someone like a John Jones, I suppose, but he's out injured. You've got the greatest heavyweight of all time in Stipe Miocic, who was sat there in attendance at Madison Square Garden looking on. There is a bit of a bottleneck at the top of that division because there is no real clear contender for Tom. But as we've seen in the past, once you do get yourself to the top of the tree and you become the champion, the biggest fights and the biggest paydays then start to flow. And what I think he will also be able to do, given his personality, he'll be able to bring the UFC a lot more to British soil. So therefore, a lot of British fans will hopefully get to see him fight in the flesh, rather than have to obviously make pilgrimages to the likes of Las Vegas and Madison Square Garden, which I'm not against, by the way. No. But it's always good to see your guys fight in their own backyard.
Especially if you can be part of that pilgrimage as well. Adam,
Exactly.
Adam Catterall, as always, mate, thank you so much for your contribution this lunchtime.
Appreciate your time, gentlemen. Have a wonderful day. Take care.